The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
That opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm your host, Darren Jaime, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our community. Coming up on today's show, we'll discuss the latest in the Eric Garner case, the man that died in police custody. We'll bring you all the latest, including community outrage. And then we'll talk about a program that aims to support local high school students by challenging them to strive for academic excellence. And after that, fashion expert George Worrell will stop by to talk about his new book, I'm Still Here. And then we'll discuss the 2014 budget with City Councilman James Vaca. He'll be with us in studio. Plus a new health technology breakthrough that's taking place at the Morris Heights Health Center. And finally, it's Bronx Family Day. It's happening soon, and we'll find out when as well as where. All this and much more is heading your way because right now we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I'm your host, Darren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, July 23rd. And, of course, you're watching Open, the only live and interactive program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We want to encourage you to stay connected to us. You can find out about us at Twitter at BronxNet TV and Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. Well, kicking things off on our show, our first guest is not only bringing back funding to District 13, he's bringing it right back to the borough of the Bronx. He's here now to discuss the 2014 budget, plus a little bit more. We're pleased to welcome Councilman Jimmy Vaca with us. And,
how are you?
Good to have you back.
Good to be back again.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you. How many years we've
been doing this for like almost 20 years.
Yeah. Yes, that long.
That's been a long time. And seeing you risen through the ranks.
Thank you.
And so as you're here as a councilman and, 2014, and we're looking now, and we talked about bringing money home, and so you were able to actually bring some dollars home. Let's get right into it. $1 million grant recently awarded for Pelham Parkway and Bronx House.
Yeah, well, Bronx House is the center of the Pelham Parkway community. It has services for everyone, starting at a very young age, 2, 3, 4 years old, right all the way through to senior citizen services. So I brought home over $1 million to help Bronx House renovate their facility, and we also managed to free up over $500,000 that Bronx House has had sitting there in city money for over 9 years in bureaucratic red tape. So that's going to make a big contribution. Right. Also, I'm chair of the Technology Committee of the New York City Council, and an initiative I sponsored, over $750,000, is going to go to training people in the Bronx on how to use technology. Whether you're an immigrant, whether you're a senior citizen, whether you have English language issues, we want you to be trained on how to use the internet. Many Bronxites don't have access to internet service, and we want to teach them how to use it, and we want to bring it home to this borough. And that initiative was adopted.
It's almost assumed, though, with all the wave of technology, that people know how to use it. But I guess from what you're finding is, and we found out, a lot of people just aren't so familiar.
No, especially seniors. I go to many senior centers, and their children have moved away. Their children are in other states, and many seniors want a way to communicate. And also, access to technology for senior citizens is really important from a social interaction point of view. Many of them are isolated. Many of them are widows or widowers, and they don't have that social communication that the internet can bring to them via email, via finding out what's on sale in their local supermarkets or in a department store. All those things are very important. So we're going to be doing some meaningful outreach in the year ahead based on the initiative I funded.
Meeting the needs of people is very important to you. And talk about the Pelham Bay Little League, because that's a big project for you too.
Well, I'm mad at the Parks Department for a while. They have projects. We as city council people provide money for parks projects, and it takes the Parks Department years to spend the money we give them. This money we give them produces jobs, it produces community improvements, and it can't be that the money is sitting there years before it's spent. NYCHA has had the same issue. So here in the Parks Department, in a project in my district, the local Little League got a $200,000 grant through my office, but the local Little League said that they had to spend money out of their own pocket because the contractor didn't do the job right. And they went to court and they won a settlement of almost $10,000 that they have to be reimbursed. So it's a victory for local little people fighting big people, but it also means that we in the council have to enact legislation, which I've now proposed, which says that the Parks Department, when they get money through the City Council, cannot change the parameters of that project without coming back to the local council person, who in turn will go back to the local neighborhood to have them review how those plans and designs have changed.
When you talk about delivering money home, it's got to be a good feeling. We talked about Bronx House, you talked about the Little League field, the things that you've been able to do as a senior member now of the City Council, we can now say. How important is it for you, or how should I say, how important is it to be able to deliver these funds home when we're in such an economic downturn?
Well, I believe that a local councilman has many, many opportunities to not only fight to get improvements, but to also fight back when there's a cut that is dangerous to the people he represents or to the borough. This year, I don't know how, but the mayor's budget did not include funding for CUNY Prep. It's a city university program which allows students who don't function in a traditional high school very well an opportunity for a second chance. And the mayor's budget did not include $2.4 million. And without that allocation, that school, which is in Pelham Parkway, but serves the whole borough, would have closed. And I'm on the budget negotiating team of the New York City Council, and I'm a deputy leader at this point, so I'm in the room. And if I'm in the room, I'm able to fight to get that money restored. And in the 11th hour, that money was restored. So I basically told my colleagues, I'm not going back to my district unless this program is restored. I visited there, I know the staff, I've met the kids. And I was determined not to let that go by the wayside, because that's a program that should be replicated throughout the city. It's not a program that should be tossed aside because someone made a decision that's arbitrary not to include it in City University's funding package.
You talked a little bit about some of the red tape. We talked about Bronx House had money that was actually sitting there. Talked about, getting these things out. Obviously, very clearly, there's a problem. What is being done to address the problem of the bureaucratic red tape and really the slow balling that really hinders some of these projects? Because if the money doesn't come, the reality is projects can really close down.
Darren, you're 100% right. I want to give the new administration a chance to deal with something which has been so structural in our budget process, namely the inability of the city to spend money it has. NYCHA is a classic example. Many of us, including myself, have allocated money for cameras for NYCHA developments. That money, until recently, unfortunately it took a murder in Brooklyn to really get the city to say, the money is there, damn it, spend it. That's what it took. Now, I've allocated money for every development in my district. The two senior developments, 2440 Boston Road Plaza and Middletown Plaza, now have cameras. Pelham Parkway, they're starting to install them, and then Throgs Neck is coming next. So every development will have cameras. Over $5 to $6 million I've allocated. Well, I want that money spent, and I want it spent now. And I think that this new administration, the mayor and his team, have to come to grips with the reality that we want the money spent. We don't want this to sit there for years, because when the money sits there for years, the original cost may be $1 million. If it sits there 3, 4, 5 years, you're now looking at $2 million.
Exactly.
So you can't do what you intended to do because the cost of the project goes up. You're not producing the jobs that these projects produce. These projects are multi-million-dollar jobs, and they produce community-based jobs. And by not having the money spent, that goes out the window. And then you're not effectuating the neighborhood improvements. And people have a right to public safety. They have a right to make sure that what their elected officials do based on their allocations is actually resulting in a community improvement.
Before we let you go, talk to us a little bit about the mall. It's going to be a huge infrastructure for the borough of the Bronx, and not just for the borough of the Bronx, but really for the city of New York.
Well, I don't know which mall. We're getting so many malls. We're getting a mall at Bay Plaza, which is expanding. Macy's is the center of that mall. It's going to be opening soon. We're getting another mall on Brush and Lafayette, a smaller mall, but we're getting a Target-based mall there, and that should be opening within the next couple of days, I understand. We're getting another mall also ultimately at Bartow Avenue and Gun Hill Road, which is MTA property, and that's going to be a mall there. So all of this is job producing, and all of this means people are going to have another opportunity to shop. I also think the problem we face as a government, as city, state, and federal officials, is that we have to get a way to get people to get there from a traffic perspective. We really don't have the infrastructure. And unless we come to grips with the traffic issues, then people will not be able to shop. People will be frustrated. It's going to hurt the economy, and it's going to mean that many people will be trapped in their local neighborhoods, not being able to get in their car and go where they want to go. So I think that is the challenge we face because of all the shopping centers opening within a very, very confined area.
All right, well, Councilman Jimmy Vaca, thank you for coming to share with us, and we
Thank
definitely
you.
have to continue our conversation again.
I appreciate being
Stay
here.
right there. All right, got to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll have Clark Pena who will join us, and he'll weigh in on the Eric Garner case. Stay tuned. We'll have much more right after this.
So you heard of the Chewbacca fish?
Yeah.
Chupa who?
Well, you heard of the Chewbacca fish, haven't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And just so the people at home know, describe it real quick for us.
Describe what?
A fish that flies out of the water, like almost like a rocket. It goes like 12 feet in the air, and then what happens is it comes back down before it hits the water. It like flies into people's neck and like starts biting you in the neck and in the face.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If it's out there, I'm going to catch it on camera because I've been out here with my camera for years.
You know how the Chewbacca fish works? What happens is it shoots it like rockets out of the water, like 5 feet in the air, and then as it jumps, and then what happens, like 5 feet in the air, comes down, right before it hits the water, like it does a one of these moves and flies into your neck and starts like biting you and stuff.
Nah. They don't have the fish like that out here, do they?
Yeah, that's the Chewbacca fish. That's what
they have it out here in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then what happens is right before it comes and hits the water.
Yeah, he tried to hit somebody.
Exactly.
Llegaron los caballos. ¡Huépame! Mira, yo te vi con ese teléfono. ¡Mira! ¡Suelta el teléfono!
And welcome back to Open. Darren Jaime here with you. Well, last week's major story, Eric Garner was held in a chokehold, apparently, by as police attempted to arrest him. He later died, uttering the words, "I can't breathe." The question remains, did police use excessive force? Did they abuse their authority? The organizer of the Seeking Solutions Anti-Violence Summit, Clark Pena, joins us now to chime in, and we welcome him back to the show. And
Good to
have you. Once again, New York City is grappling with this. We, particularly here in the borough of the Bronx, have seen this over and over and over again, where questionable police tactics are used, ending in the loss of life. And so when we look at the situation of Eric Garner, from your perspective, let me just get your take on the whole situation.
Well, we don't want to obviously rush to judgment, but two things are factual. Mr. Gardner is dead. He should not have died. And there appears to be something illegally done by the police officer or police officers that responded to that scene. Obviously, there are numerous investigations ongoing, and I always like to tell everyone, let's wait for the final disposition. And if something was found to be criminally done by the police officer, let's call him to the carpet and let's do justice.
So you're having a summit coming up.
That's correct.
And it's dealing with seeking solutions.
That's correct.
And so when you look at the community says, listen, we've been trying to seek solutions for a long time. What makes this summit a little different?
Well, post the Staten Island incident, it has definitely changed the dynamics of the summit. In order for us as community, as clergy, as business leaders, if we're going to seek solutions, we have to first reestablish trust with our law enforcement officers. So we are continuing with our summit, but we're going to start off by addressing the issue of the Gardner incident. We've invited members of the administration.
Which administration?
Of the de Blasio administration,
Okay.
to include their top law enforcement officials, to attend. We're still awaiting a response. We hope that they're there because, once again, we're seeking solutions. We're not looking to point fingers. But once again, in order for us to seek solutions and save lives, we have to establish a trust factor between law enforcement and community, and then we'll move forward.
Do you contend that there is a huge divide, and given this with the Garner incident, once again, this reignites the city's racial tensions, and I said racial as well as community tensions. So how do we approach having that conversation that addresses all of those things?
Well, we've reached out. We've been kept updated as to what's been going on with the incident from the time it took place to today. I did receive some information from the Community Assistance Unit of the New York City Mayor's office, and they have been keeping us as community leaders, as clergy, and as business leaders. They've been briefing us as to what's going on, and as we speak, Mr. Gardner is being laid to rest, so my thoughts and prayers are with the Gardner family at this time.
And we want to let you know, Friday, July 25th, from 11 to 5, the summit site is the Eastward Baptist Church, 2011 First Avenue. Dr. Sean Gardner of the Eastward Baptist Church, as well as community partners, will be a part of this Seeking Solutions Summit, where hopefully some solutions can actually be brought about. What are you hearing from people right now, given the fact of this latest incident with regards to Eric Garner? Because once again, you have community leaders, elected officials who are simply outraged. And to be honest with you, it's nice to seek solutions, but then some people say, listen, the result always ends up being acquittal. It was justified. Talk about the passion of the people to really get to the table. Is there a passion of people to get to the table?
Well, yes. Well, look, I'm a community folk, and there's no one that's been a stronger advocate for law enforcement than I. But we have to face the facts. Something went totally wrong on that day. That Mr. Gardner is being laid to rest today. We have to come to the table. We've extended an invitation. Let's sit down and talk. The fact of the matter is, law enforcement cannot do the job without strong community involvement. And I think this could be a great start. Let's move forward. Let's wait for the facts and the investigation to be completed, and we shall take it from there. But community and police must find a way to work together.
Has it been pretty positive in terms of when you reach out to police officers and I should say police administration to try to bring them to the table for this summit? What's the response been like?
Well, to be honest with you, we've been getting a lot of great responses from Commissioner Carrion from the Community Assistance Unit, from the Mayor's office, Harold Miller, the Deputy Commissioner, Elise Beal, the Manhattan Director. They've been very open and very forthcoming, and we hope that Friday we will have representation there from the law enforcement community of NYPD.
Okay. And if you have an end result, end game, end hope, what would that be out of the summit?
More training for these police officers. Obviously, more involvement within the training of police officers with community leaders, clergy, business leaders, and let's start moving forward. Once again, we have to refocus. People are getting killed, stabbed, in tremendous numbers in the city, and we need law enforcement. But we also need them to protect our community, whether you're making an arrest or whether you're patrolling our streets.
And from the part of community, how's community reacting in regards to coming to a summit right after the situation with Mr. Garner? Are people reluctant to even come and talk, or are they willing to really open up and have something to say?
Well, because of also we got the involvement of the National Action Network, which is going to be participating and being partners in the summit. The calls have been tremendous. People want to come. People want to express their opinion, express their thoughts, and we welcome that. That's what it's all about. We want everyone to come to the table, and let's seek solution. Let's save lives. Let's reestablish trust factor with our law enforcement community.
So 11 to 5 on Friday, July 25th, we encourage people to come on out. be a part of the Seeking Solutions Anti-Violence Summit. The summit is being hosted by the Reverend Dr. Sean P. Gardner of the East Ward Baptist Church in Harlem, New York. The address there is 2011 First Avenue, 103rd, 104th Street. You can come on out and be a part. Clark Pena and Dr. Sean P. Gardner are the organizers there. And there you see the number at the bottom of your screen, as well as the email address that you might be able to come and be able to and be able to share. When you look at a situation like this, and you see the mayor say, "Listen, certainly it looks like clearly something goes wrong." You hear the police commissioner say, "We have to wait and see what's going on." Do you get a sense, because we've talked and interviewed people before who say, "Listen, when we hear that we have to wait and see before all the facts come out," do you feel that there's this heavy tension, and that if things don't go right this time, that it'll probably be worse than ever, given the fact that it's the first time that the de Blasio administration is going to have to deal with this, and it's something that he ran on?
Right. Well, there is clear tension. Make no mistake about it. But once again, everyone's entitled to due process. We have to see where the investigation takes us. There's numerous investigations, numerous agencies conduct investigations. Let's wait for the final determination, and we'll move forward from there. I personally feel that the de Blasio administration has a vested interest in making sure that this ends correctly, and so do we in our communities.
All right, Clark Pena, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll continue with more Open, and we'll bring you more information as the show continues.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS, and when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee. It's Open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
And you are back here on Open. Our next guest has lifestyle subjects in a number of media networks, including CBS, ABC, NBC News, affiliates all across the country. He's here today to discuss his new book, I'm Still Here. And we welcome author and style expert George Worrell. And
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Looking at a picture of style today.
Yeah, and so are you.
Well, thank you.
That tie, and I checked out your socks, so you're definitely on.
You know, it's warm outside. We have to look a little warm. We have to bring out the bright colors. Good to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So let's talk about this here. You're a fashion expert, but the truth of the matter is you're also an author. And you're authoring a book that's coming out and it drops in August called I'm Still Here.
I'm Still Here.
So give us a little history.
And I believe that it's a continuation from my first book, which is On the Other Side of Style. And that started out chronicling fashion. But then I had to think about, when did I first get that feeling about fashion? And it was as a little kid. So that meant it turned into a memoir. And, seeing my parents, my grandparents have a certain style, a certain flair, I developed a love of fashion and knew what to look for, how to identify well-made clothes as opposed to the brands. So I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the journey. I took it from my journey and from my journal and wrote On the Other Side of Style, which was just pretty good.
So you write a little bit about homeless.
Yeah.
Drug.
Well, it's about, so when people think about fashion, they think just about your clothes, but it's just so much more than that, Darren. It's where you work, where you live, what you eat, you know, what you think, the people that you have around you. So, you know, I grew up in an upper class, middle class family, and, you know, both of my parents have been married 56 years. These things that were in my journey weren't supposed to happen to me. I was in college and soon left, and I found myself drug addicted, alcohol addicted, homeless at one point for about 10 years. But what kept me, I think, alive were my dreams. Because I grew up in a town or a time that what I thought, who I was, and what interested me didn't interest other people. So I felt alone. So that meant I went to things that I thought that could kind of suppress that feeling. And I found out I felt worse, but I still dreamed. So, you know, about 10, 12 years, I got clean in 1995, and I've never looked back. I started my own business. I started doing it my way, the things that I felt should be happening in my life.
What do you want people to take away from the book?
What I want people to take away from the book is that to think and that your journey is yours. And that to get something from the inside, like my grandmother used to say, your first mind, meaning if you're walking this way and something says innately don't walk that way, and then you go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to walk that way, and then something happens. You've missed that opportunity when something said not to. So it's to do the things that are comfortable. Even in fashion, when you come to me or you come to anyone in fashion, you should already know yourself, your body, all of those things. I should be the person that just gets it for you, or maybe have some suggestions to tweak it. Yeah.
So the first book was On the Other Side of Style. It's a memoir. This new book is I'm Still Here. And so when you look at the difference between the first book and the second book, what did you say I want to really attack this time?
The continuation of the journey, that it still happens. You know, at 49, I decided to leave Washington, D.C., where I'd been for 18 years. And I woke up one morning and I literally moved in a month. And I don't know if I was financially prepared to do that, but it was a strong gut feeling. Martin Luther King said this one time, the time is now. You will know when the time is now to change, to do whatever it is that you're doing. I sold my furniture. I sold trinkets, you know, the valuable things. And I took my savings and I moved. I found a place on Craigslist in Harlem. It took me a little while to find a job, but I did. And I'm here. I'm still here on the journey. So hopefully people will get from the book to inspire themselves, whether if it's to change your hairstyle, to move to another city, to do another job, a job you've been working for 20 years, you don't particularly like, but you're just doing it for money, but to take your passion and to say you can live and make money on your passion.
That's awesome. And so now you have George Worrell, LLC. So now that you have the business, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the business is, you know, I wrote the book. I'm going to go on a tour, a speaking tour. I want to go to colleges. I want to talk to young people. I want to go to corporate America. On that other side of it, we have where we come in and do seminars to corporate America, dress for success. So that means when you're going to an interview, you don't wear the clothes that you wear to the club. You wear things. You have to be able to fit your audience. You know, people think, you know, I want to just be me. Yes, you can be me, but you have to be able to fit that mold. You have to be an actor. You really do. So that you make your clients or the people that you are engaging comfortable so that they feel that they will impart in you. So then when you receive all of that, then you can go on and do your thing. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to need all of that resource. So
what's the most common mistake that people make with regards to that?
In dressing, that they don't know enough about themselves. You should know your body. Everybody's different. You know, I'm thin. I've always been thin, so I don't wear clothes that are not tapered. But I also wear things age appropriate. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, if you're 70, you know, and all this long hair, that's not going to go. Or men who, you know, just... You're living a legend in your mind.
So help me to understand this. So when we go outside and we see people right out during the hot weather, and we see more and not less, what are people actually telling us?
For me, I think it's a level of insecurity or your advertising that you want something from someone else that you should be giving yourself. You know, it's inner. I have this course that I teach. It's called The 3 Phases of Style. It's inner, outer, and then your clothes. Your clothes should always be last. So it depends how you feel about yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you love others? All of these things. And then how I grew up, it's your hair, your skin, your teeth. Like I said, the last thing is your clothes. You don't have to go to the high-end stores to look well or to dress well. You need to train your eye to identify well-made clothes. You can go to Marshall's. Lomas is not open anymore, but any place, like, this is what I love about 125th Street or the Bronx or Indian. All of these stores like Jimmy Jam, all those places, it's about going in and identify if something is well made and that it fits your body type and that it looks good on you.
And you make it work.
And you make it work.
George Worrell, how do people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me at info@George Worrell Style. That's the same as my website, georgeworrellstyle.com. I'll be happy to talk to anyone.
Great. And the book?
The book, I'm Still Here. I'm still here, Darren.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming to
you.
share. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, guess what? We've got to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to find out about an event for the whole family to enjoy. You stay with us. Coming right back in a few.
I love being in classrooms like this one and learning new things. But I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I know school can be hard. It's demanding, and we kids have many distractions, lots of other things we could be doing. Sometimes even your friends may tell you that school isn't cool, that it isn't the place to be. Don't listen to them. There's nothing more important than education. It's the key to everything else. It helps us understand our world and be better people, better friends, and better citizens. So stay in school, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough or smart enough. Be a star, shine brighter than anyone else, and you'll make the grade.
This has been a public service announcement of the Make the Grade Foundation. Go to makethegrade.org to learn more.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
We are back here on Open. Darren Jaime here with you. The Bronx Chamber of Commerce and American Golf will host Bronx Family Day this weekend at the Pelham Split Rock, starting at 5 p.m. Here to tell us more is CEO, head of the Bronx Chamber, Lenny Carroll. We see him here all the time, and he's back one more time with good news.
Good to see you. You look wonderful, my friend.
You look
good. Good to see you. Hope your golf game is doing good.
You know, it's getting there, so we're going to have to go out and fix that.
Yeah, we got to play. I'm ready to play. Hopefully the new Donald Trump golf course will be opening soon.
That's
right. You'll join me on that. And just think about what's happening in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
All the synergy, all the new malls, all the shopping that's happening, the new Target, talking about Donald Trump, and now with Family Day. Mm-hmm. This is an opportunity that's never been done in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. And we're going to host a show for kids. And we have Frozen from Broadway. Mm-hmm. We've got the huge fireworks display, which has never been done because permits have never been given out. The Chamber got it through the Parks Department. Mm-hmm. And this event is going to be held at Pelham Split Rock. And for $5 and $10 for adults, you can enjoy the show, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy all the rides, pony rides, and face painting. And more importantly, at the end of the night, you're going to have an experience of a lifetime. You can't bring chairs, you can't bring any lawn coolers, but you can come and enjoy a spectacular show that's never been done for kids in the Bronx. Because a lot of us work so many hours and don't get a chance to spend quality time with our kids. So I felt as a business community to reach out to do something for our kids in the Bronx. And the summer is almost coming to an end. August 1st is next week.
Yeah, I know.
It's coming.
Don't
August 1st comes, it's closed so quick. So we're very anxious to do this for the kids.
And so to have the opportunity to really do something for kids as well as community, I know the Commerce has always been big on, the Chamber's been big on that as well.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we do things for Boy Scouts. I'm the vice president of Boy Scouts, and this Saturday we'll bring about 70 Boy Scouts onto the actually Yankee Stadium to get their Eagle pin. So think about that. I mean, there's so many things that we can't forget these kids, because when we leave a good expression, they're going to be the entrepreneurs to run businesses. So we want to leave a good image for them.
When you talk about leaving a good image, legacy is big.
Oh, absolutely.
And leaving a good legacy. Economic improvements. Obviously, we talked about the malls and Target.
Oh, phenomenal.
And you come from the perspective, hey, there's some job creation going on as well.
Absolutely. You know, recently Target opened up yesterday, officially today. We were helped to get 350 jobs for that particular location. So you know what? That's 350 people that are not unemployed anymore. Now we've got the new Macy's Mall that's opening up, the new Marriott. There are so many positive things that are happening in our borough the Bronx has never seen before. So the synergy is here. The Bronx is booming.
And I know you're loving every minute of it.
Absolutely. It's proud to be president of the chamber.
Give us a little bit about the golf, because as we talked about Bronx Family Day at Pelham Split Rock, you obviously have the opportunity also to share with Donald Trump and his new golf course that's going to be coming, and that is going to be a huge endeavor for
And think about this. If we go back 20, 30 years, did we ever think Donald Trump would take anything in the Bronx and never think that we'd ever have a Marriott hotel? But it's here. And next year, in the spring of next year, it'll open up for the first time the new Donald Trump golf course. I have an opportunity to be playing with Mr. Trump within the next couple of weeks at the golf course. He's invited me to play a little bit and get a feel for it. So we'll see what happens.
How you feeling about that?
A little nervous.
That's why you're going out practice?
I'm going to leave from here and practice.
So will you give me some things about the chamber, what's coming up?
We have so many exciting things happening. We've partnered with Mr. Jeff Klein, our senator, to do a program called Hire, to create more jobs. And if you're not trained for that job, we're going to get a fund together so that we can train you to get that job. It's not just a job fair, it's putting the company with the employee that fits, and it's a match. So today, we need to really focus on jobs. And today, our governor is going to be here this evening at the Marina Del Rey.
Because you're getting honored.
I'm being honored, among others, but you know, the chamber's being honored. I'll receive the award for the chamber, but it's nice to let everybody in the Bronx know that there are some great things happening. And when the governor comes in to recognize businesses and dignitaries that will be here at the Marina Del Rey this evening, it's a great feeling.
Well, what is that feeling like for you? Because yes, while it is the Bronx Chamber, and you do represent the Bronx Chamber, there has been a tremendous amount of progress to which you can.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, when you think about it, if you look back all the times when we were building Yankee Stadium, and you know, now there's a soccer stadium being considered, and of course the ice skating ring will take its own course, but I think that soccer stadium is going to be very, very popular. So think about what we're going to become, a sports arena for the whole United States. That's how I feel about it. And it's the Bronx. It's the 5 borough, but the Bronx is getting this work. We're getting the new stuff.
And when you look at it, you got ice skating possibly, hockey, you've got the potential for soccer, you got a Major League Baseball team that's right here. So to the outsider looking in, a lot of questions that we had, questions that we needed answers to, can be answered through all these different entities.
We will be the tourist attraction in the next 5 years. People that come to Manhattan, we will be coming to the Bronx because we're going to have so much to offer. And the people in the Bronx do appreciate when they see tourists. I think everyone has started to change. There's no more attitudes. It's only positive.
The heart of the Bronx has been always small business as well. Talk to us about small business. We hear a lot about big business. From your perspective, Chamber of Commerce, small business.
The United States has been built on small business. We can never forget the small mom and papa stores. My belief is the big box stores come in and do what they have to do, but if that little mom and papa store caters to its people and its customers a little better, they'll contain those people because they don't always want to go to those big box stores. They want to say hello to Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones for the day. You're not going to get that in the big box stores. Small businesses are here. They all struggle at a time, but if they really attend to their customers, they'll maintain their business.
So we want to tell people coming out to the Marina Del Rey this evening, I should say.
And Saturday, July 26th.
First Marina Del Rey didn't get there Saturday. And then, as of course we said, Lenny's going to be honored with the Marina Del Rey. And then on Saturday, the Bronx Family Day. We want you to come out and bring your families. Once again, give the price.
Right. Tickets are $5 for kids, $10 for adults. Food you can purchase, but with that $5 bracelet, you go on the bungee, on all the toys, all the rides, all the bouncy houses, face painting. You'll get to see a great show. We have a great talent school that's coming in, an academy, to do a great show for us. And then Frozen, and then the fireworks.
All right, so we'll have a great time. So make sure you come on out and enjoy it. Lenny, Carol, thanks so much for coming to share with us.
My pleasure.
I know you got to get out here and work on your golf game.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And we'll have to work on it together, too.
Thanks a lot.
All right,
Appreciate it.
take care. Lenny Caro. Got to take a quick break, but when we return, going to talk to some young people. We're going to learn about a program to elevate our youth. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. We're coming right back in a few.
You got to learn your body, pace yourself, and have fun. So let's go have fun. Let's go do it. The key thing about shoulders, your shoulders is a 3-tier muscle. You have your front delts, you have your rear delts, and you have your mid delts. So when you're working out your shoulders properly, you have to do 3 different exercises.
It's wonderful being able to compete with a lot of these young guys from all over the world. It's important to stay in shape.
Barry, time is running out. According to my calculations, 1 in 5 kids in America struggles with hunger. How can so many children face hunger when there's more than enough food to feed them all? You're right, Barry. We can help solve hunger by teaming up with Feeding America to get food to hungry kids in communities across the country.
Help Flint and the Feeding America network of food banks get food to the people who need it in your community. Find your local Feeding America food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Together, we're Feeding America.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
And welcome back to Open. I'm your host, Darren Jaime. The History Makers Scholars Program is a 5-week enrichment program which encourages and challenges high school students to complete college-level research work while allowing them to engage as in the college experience as students. Now, here to tell us more is the Associate Coordinator of Service Learning at the Dorothy Day Center for Service and Justice at Fordham University Lincoln Center, Jean-Pierre LaCour, the Program Coordinator for the Center for Achieving Future Education at BronxWorks, Tyler Rodriguez, Jr. at Bronx Early College Academy, Jocelyn Spencer, a junior at KIPP NYC College Prep High School, and Catherine Crawford, Program Director of History Makers. Try saying that twice. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Good to have you. So, Jean-Pierre, give us a little history here.
Well, thank you for having us back here today to talk about the program. The History Makers program has entered 9 years of community partnership with Fordham University's Dorothy Day Center for Service and Justice and the African American Histories Department with BronxWorks. It is a program that has been able to reach out into the community and bring young people to the campus to not only learn about Black history and the impacts of community and development of African Americans and people of color in the Bronx, but also give students the opportunity to expand their learning and opportunities on campuses by learning to sit down with professors and mentors to actually use that as research and kind of put that into the community and their own development.
Catherine, a little bit about the work you do.
Sure. So I'm the program director, so I really facilitate and support the students. We also have college mentors who take on a group of 6 students. So I'm really there to support the facilitation of the conversations. I take them on the field trips. I'm part of the conversations with the faculty. They have Fordham faculty that comes in and they provide the lecture for the week. So I really am kind of the logistical and kind of the support, and I create the space for them to do that.
Tyler is the sophomore at the Bronx Early College Academy, and so give us a little bit about what the program is to you and what you do.
So the program has been a really great experience because you get to go on Fordham, you get to go on campus and have fun, but it's not just about like having fun and getting on campus. It's more about you're learning about all these things that you don't learn about in school, about history. You learn about the Bronx burnings, which they don't talk about in schools.
And Jocelyn, for you?
Yes. This program has really meant a lot to me. It opened my eyes to my community, and it actually exposed a lot. So now I'm more like, I'm not just judging the Bronx as something that, saying that's negative. I see it as a beautiful place that can actually grow and aspire to be something better.
And so for young people who take part in this program, what do you think they walk away feeling, and what do you think they walk away knowing?
They really walk away knowing that Bronx, there's a pride to the Bronx. We have famous people like the Latin jazz, Rita Romero, and that kind of thing. And there's a lot of like really good people who came from the Bronx, and the Bronx is a very great place to be in.
It's true. The Bronx is a very good place, and so to have students have this kind of opportunity obviously is life-changing for them because it changes their perception, and at the same time it also opens up to, I would say, some cultural enrichment.
That's correct. One of the things that really establishes the program, and I want to actually add also that this is a development project that came from the Teagle Foundation, primarily to open the students' eyes and to show them and expose them to opportunities of information that is not readily available to them. One of the big and essential pieces that through the partnership we have is to develop the youth as individuals and citizens, that they are in this community and they have a part to that. And that's also to develop them to go on to college and to try to expand their ability to see themselves as cognitive thinkers. And that's really essentially the big part of this program. The relationships that these students make on campus with their mentors and the coordinators and the professors is essential. A lot of these things do not happen in that capacity for a lot of young people in the Bronx.
And when we talk about college level research, high school students have the opportunity to really do that. Because when you get to college, we know the research game is a whole lot different. So what's it been like for you?
I found it to be very interesting. It has been pretty hard. I found it cool that we got to learn how to use like stuff like JSTOR to research and stuff. I was like, hey, we were doing college stuff. So it was really cool for me. My school, they kind of prepare us to do college work, but not to this level. So I'm actually excited, and I feel more prepared to go to college than any school prepared me for.
Early exposure is key. So give us a little bit about, when you talk about early exposure, and I say early exposure is key because it allows kids to have the opportunity to really learn. What are your thoughts now, specifically about college?
I'm very actually excited about college. Before I was really scared about, I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm not going to be able to do this. And you don't really learn the caliber of the work that you're doing until you actually get to try it out. And this program has been like a really good experience for me because I get to learn, hey, this is JSTOR, I can use JSTOR, it's easy. And it's very comforting. It's a very comforting feeling knowing how to do college level research.
How are young people allowed to engage in this program? They see these two young people here and they say, hey, this is something that maybe I want to jump in. The parents saying, hey, this is something I want my child to participate in.
Well, essentially the way we recruit students is a recruitment process. We send out information during the school year to let students know and faculty and advisors know that Bronx works in partnership with Fordham. We have a college access piece that we reach out and have a relationship with. And during that time, we also explain that we have a summer enrichment program through the History Makers. And then through that process, over a series of maybe a month or two, applications come into Bronx Works, and then we actually review them. In fact, this past year was one of our first years that we've utilized basically about 16 to 17 alumni of students have done this program over the 9 years to sit down and actually sit and interview every one of these students this year. So we send out information through internet, and we actually send it out through social media as well as emails to a lot of the faculties and schools in the Bronx.
So before we go, let's get the information out there. How do they get in touch with you?
You can contact bronxworks.org, or you can call Jean-Pierre LaCour at bronxworks.org, or you can actually contact the Dorothy Day Center and
Catherine, tell us.
Yeah, so at Rose Hill, the number is 718, that's the Lincoln Center, 718-817-4510, and it's casjrh@fordham.edu is the email.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming and sharing with us, and keep up the good work. And now that you got the early jump, you know, you get your feet in the water, and now you'll be able to succeed. So thank you so much for coming. Best wishes to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All righty, well, guess what? Taking a quick break. Coming back with more Open after this. Stay with us. We're returning.
Yes, I am. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Brush, 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 brush. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. You can have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. You got your almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's check. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
For those dealing with the struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for advice and support.
And you're back here on Open. This year, Morris Heights Health Center in the Bronx has partnered with Zenith Technology Solutions to implement an exciting platform that will help manage the care of their Medicaid health home members. Here now to tell us how they became pioneers in new health technology is Communications and Media Manager at the Morris Heights Health Center, Carmen Polanco. We welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good, good. So, exciting time for you.
Absolutely.
And so you got this technology piece that's rising.
Yes, we do. This is we just rolled out our program. Let me just give you a brief history of health homes. Health homes, we're a care management program servicing our chronically ill patients and mental health patients here in the Bronx. Our purpose is to make sure that our patients stay out of the ER as well as hospitals. And in doing that, we have linked technology and healthcare to prevent them, to keep them out of the hospital.
So when you talk about linking technology and healthcare, I know one of the ways that you're actually doing it is that you have the opportunity to monitor a patient's vital signs 24 hours.
Absolutely. We are providing our members with devices, monitoring devices, a blood pressure cuff if they're hypertensive, diabetic monitoring service, diabetic monitoring device, as well as a scale or pulse oximeter for people that have asthma or COPD. And what we do is our members are able to download an application free of charge, and once they monitor their vital signs at home, their results are, Bluetooth technology into the their application, and then we're able to monitor it straight from our office. So we're able to, call them and see and find out and access. Let's say if a patient has not taken their medication, find out why their ranges is out of range, why their numbers are out of range, and we're able to just RN care manage, straight from our office.
How long has this process been in the works?
We just started. We just rolled out our program just approximately like 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So we're just starting now to enroll our members from health homes.
But in terms of working on thinking about it, it's been for a couple of years?
It's been now closely to a year that
Mhm.
they've been in the works, and these monitoring devices are free of charge. So we're actually, like I just finished saying, just trying to roll them out to our community and to assure that our members stay out of the hospital. That's our main purpose, that they know when to go to the ER to avoid hospitalizations.
So what has been the response so far?
Very receptive, especially with caregivers of the elderly, because they themselves are able now to see and keep results of their, patients, their vital signs. So they're very excited.
But a little challenging at all, because when you think about elderly and technology, of course, this is
Yeah, absolutely. We have their caregivers who've been very receptive to wanting to participate in this program. So that's been really a plus on our side.
good. So tell us a little bit about Morris Heights Health Center if people don't know.
Well, Morris Heights, we're not too far from here. We're at 85 West Burnside. Like I said earlier, we're a care management program, and we service our chronically ill patients and mental health patients here in the Bronx. And the main purpose is to pretty much keep our members safe in the community, have them educated regarding their conditions, and pretty much just keep them safe in the community.
So when you have this one, this new technology, this new rollout, obviously that definitely fits in the vision and mission for what you guys want to do.
Absolutely. And especially now with the Medicaid redesign program that Mayor Cuomo has actually just rolled out, which is DSRIP, which is Delivery System Reform Incentive Payment Program. The purpose is to decrease hospitalization rates by 25%. So our goal is to keep our community and out of the hospital and safe out of emergency rooms.
Is that something that we were seeing a lot of before?
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be a 5-year plan. Cuomo has invested $6 billion into this Medicaid redesign program. So that's pretty much where we're at with Morris Heights.
And so we want to let you know that the new technology has the ability to monitor patients' vital signs actually 24 hours a day. It's new, it's just rolled out, and so anybody who's there actually can participate in that, huh?
Correct.
So for people who want more information, what do they do?
They can call Morris Heights. I can give you my number, 718-483-1270, extension 2623, or they can go on our website at morrisheightshealthcenter.org.
And for somebody who wants to know something about Morris Heights that maybe we didn't cover, what should we tell them?
Morris Heights is a caring place. It's a one-stop shop for all kinds of services. Members, we have everything from primary care, internal medicine, podiatry, optometry, dental. It's a one-stop shop.
So just come on through if you have to.
Yes, correct.
We'll take care of it.
Correct.
Carmen, thank you so much for coming
Thank
and
you
sharing.
for having us.
Congratulations on this new initiative.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, guess what? That about wraps it up for this segment as well as the show. It's been a pleasure coming into your homes. We want to thank our guests for joining us, and most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch us on the Recablecast at 10 p.m. on Cablevision's Channel 67. Darren, I don't have Cablevision. You got Verizon? Verizon Files, Channel 33. I don't have that, Darren. Well, just watch anytime on the World Wide Web, www.bronxnet.org. We encourage you to have a great week. Don't forget to keep your heart, your mind, and most of all, this channel wide open. Darren Hyman saying take care and...
15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.